World leaders get into heated arguments all the time, but what happened on that tarmac in Vietnam crosses every line of diplomatic protocol. The French president's own wife hauled off and smacked him in the face, not behind closed doors, not in private, but right there with cameras rolling. And the French government's response? First deny it happened, then claim it was fake, then finally admit it was real, but call it a joke. That's not how you handle a joke. That's how you handle a crisis. What really triggered Brigitte Macron to assault her husband in front of the world? And why are international leaders suddenly taking sides? Well, stay tuned. And speaking of visible signs of stress and aging, like what we saw on Macron's face, collagen depletion affects us all. By our 40s, collagen drops significantly, causing wrinkles, sagging skin, and joint problems. And that's why I use ageless multi-collagen in my protein shakes. 5 types of collagen from 4 premium sources, hydrolyzed for easy absorption, no clumping, no taste, just smooth blending into your morning routine. No GMOs, RFK Jr. loves it, no artificial ingredients, or no hormones. Every order even helps hungry children get fed at the website nokidhungry.org. Now, get 51% off, free shipping, and a 60-day guarantee at healthwithgary.com, plus receive the 14 foods for amazing skin. I mean, look at how beautiful my skin is. Isn't it beautiful? Just go to healthwithgary.com. It's linked down in the description today. Okay, now, the footage you are about to see has rocked international diplomatic circles. This is the moment that the French President Emmanuel Macron stepped off his plane in Vietnam for crucial trade negotiations. Now, of course, as soon as that door opened, he was physically assaulted by his own wife, Brigitte, in full view of the world's media. Here's the moment. There it is. Boom! Oh, yeah. Slow-mo. Ooh! Look at, he looks right there at the camera. He sees it happening. Hi! The door open again. Boom, there it is. Right in the face. The slap heard round the world. Look at the pilots checking it out, what's going on. And here's the awkward moment. He steps out. He brings his arm to her, thinking that she's going to take his arm. And she's like, hell no, I ain't touching you. With her big, manly, broad shoulders. Yeah, there you have it. Now, that wasn't a playful tap. That was a full force slap that left Macron visibly shaken and rubbing his face. And when confronted about this shocking display of domestic violence, Macron tried to downplay it. Yeah, when he was on Sky News, listen to how he attempts to spin this assault as somehow normal behavior between couples. Watch.
Nous sommes en train de nous chamailler et plutôt de plaisanter avec mon épouse.
We were squabbling and I was joking with my wife, and I'm surprised by it. And it becomes some sort of geoplanetary catastrophe.
Catastrophe géoplanétaire, donc faut que tout le monde se calme.
Everybody needs to calm down and should really focus on actual news.
A geoplanetary catastrophe, right? He's mocking legitimate concerns about violence while admitting that they were fighting on camera. Now, the reaction from American media has been explosive. Watch how the hosts of the Patrick Bet-David podcast break down not just the slap itself, but the deeply troubling power dynamic in the Macron marriage. Remember, she was his teacher when he was just 15 years old. Watch.
We all fight. You know, we all have issues with our spouses and things happen. But I swear to God, if your wife smacked you upside the head the way Macron's husband and Macron's wife hit him, this is inappropriate. And if he's watching this, this is very inappropriate. You don't behave like this. When the world is watching, watch this here. Watch this here what happened. The best part about this is how many people have made spoofs of this with blonde hair, with wigs being thrown, all this other stuff. Rob, go and watch this clip. Watch this clip here. Go for it.
Oh. Hey, everyone. Oh, is this slow motion? Is this slow motion?
Wait, you opened the door too early.
Oh, 2 hands. Hi, everybody. Hey, what you doing?
Wow.
Look, he's rubbing his face. And then look at this.
Does he walk? Does she walk? Yeah.
Yeah. Look at those shoulders, bro. Look at that guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Bro.
If I was Macron, I would have kicked him in the nuts.
What was that, though? What do you think happened there, Vinny?
I mean,
do you think it's just a fight between a couple? You think that's all that was? Like, what happened there?
I mean,
what did they say, Rob? What has been said? The feedback on what happened there?
Well, what they said, Macron brushed it off, and he said that he was joking around with his wife, and he said people were overreacting, calling it geoplanetary catastrophe. And by the way, his team claimed initially that the video was fake. Did you guys know that? Just like CNN with deep fakes with Joe Biden falling over the place. But then he admitted it was real but harmless. And Brigitte didn't take his arm afterwards, like you guys saw, walking all stiff. But I mean, guys, let's remember. Are you going to believe anything that these people say? Be honest with yourself. Because if allegedly all the reports, especially with everything that we've heard, which has ruined them, they met when he was 15 and she was 40 years old. Okay, I think that she has been abusing him his entire freaking life since he was underage.
Now, they just nailed it. If roles were reversed, this would be front page news about domestic abuse. Dana Loesch, she went even deeper into the disturbing history of this relationship. Here's her analysis of how Brigitte's behavior reveals who really controls the marriage, and it started when Macron was a minor in her classroom. Watch.
It's weird.
That's some uncomfortable math.
That was in high school. They met in high school. Now, reverse the sexes for a moment. This is why I bring this up. She also wears the wrong shade of foundation for her skin tone. She looks orange and her ears look pale. You can't do that. You can't, especially when, it's like a warm tone and you have a cool blonde. Why are you doing this? Sorry, I just had to do it. They married in 2007. And I don't know. I'm just analyzing all of this stuff. I feel like she's the power in this relationship. Well, I mean, that's her daughter's classmate. And she was 40, he was 15. And his parents, Emmanuel Macron's parents, thought he was seeing Brigitte Macron's daughter. And then when they found out that he actually had hots for teacher, they sent him to a boarding school. So what that suggests to me is it kind of suggests there was something happening in school. That's what I think. They've never said as much, but it does definitely raise some issues there. And they've done a couple of interviews about it. They've been very tight with how much information that they give out, but I mean, I don't know. So they ended up getting married and but my whole point in bringing that up is to see her shove him in the face like that, even if they were I don't know. To me, that doesn't look like joking around. That looks like her being very forceful and bossy.
I got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm a hot for teacher. Right? Who could ever forget that Van Halen song? But, the control and abuse patterns are undeniable. This was not their first violent encounter, just the first one caught on camera. Even mainstream media couldn't ignore the story. CBS Mornings tried to laugh it off, but watch how uncomfortable they become when discussing the reality of what happened. Watch.
Just
not a catastrophe.
You got shoved in the face.
No, by your wife.
By your wife.
Caught you in a moment that clearly Mrs. Macron was not happy with Mr. Macron.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think
For
this is why
whatever
you should not marry your high school teacher. I mean, I don't know. Something about that, like maybe who knows? What do you guys say?
Clearly there's something
going on.
Somebody.
Lavash.
I'll leave that one alone, man.
Somebody.
Oh, yeah, but you're ready to eat a guac. Or whatever that thing was. Ready to eat one of those things. But Vlad, you just.
No, you're right.
Here's a line, and you just stepped right over.
Okay,
you're right,
but
Vlad.
they shouldn't say that it wasn't real, number one, or that it was just a joke. That is not a joke you do.
Right.
Shoving somebody in the face.
And we all saw it.
Notice how quickly they pivot away from the teacher-student relationship? They know the story goes deeper than just one slap. Former White House press secretary Sean Spicer, who I ran into at the White House a couple weeks ago, he met the Macrons during official visits. He offered this sobering perspective on Sky News Australia about the serious implications of this public assault. Watch.
Joining me to discuss foreign affairs is Sean Spicer, the first White House spokesman of President Donald Trump. Sean Spicer, great to see you. Look, I am going to get onto American politics, of course, but I just can't resist asking you because you were there at the White House when Macron and his wife paid Trump a visit years ago. You saw the couple again in a visit to Brussels, I believe, about 8 years ago. Looking now at Brigitte Macron pushing or hitting or punching her husband in the face, what do you make of it?
Well, I'm glad I was nice to her. We laugh, Andrew, and I think that that's kind of been the general reaction. But there is a real seriousness to this for all of the talk that we've had over the past few years about domestic violence. And it clearly it goes both ways. And I know that, you know, there's a lot of jokes to be had at Macron's expense, but there is a serious aspect to this that I don't think should be overlooked. And I know even when their initial response, you know, they tried to initially deny this. But the tape was so clear as to what was going on.
Now, Spicer's right. If we're serious about domestic violence, it can't be a joke when it happens to men. The hosts over at GB News, Great Britain News, they couldn't hide their shock at Brigitte's brazen attack. Watch their real-time reactions as they process what this means for France's international standing. Watch.
Man, she's not a stupid woman. She would have been very aware that that door was opening. The cameras would be pointed on them. What do you think's going on here?
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say that, look, again, Macron in France, I think Madame Brigitte is also finally had enough of Macron being president for so long. He's basically France's Trudeau. I mean, this is obviously very embarrassing for the French president.
What on earth is she thinking? Actually, I'm just digesting this in real time now. This is one of the most bizarre clips I think I've ever seen.
But you know
in my life.
Have you ever been in one of them situations? Because he's walking past her, it seems, from where that hand's come from. They've been bickering. And you know when someone gives a little snide remark as they go past, and she's obviously seen red and gone, oi, who do you think you're talking to? He's obviously, well, for me, he's probably said something that's wound her up.
Well, and by the way, if my wife put a hand on my face, I wouldn't be with her. That'd be it. Well, I mean, there's no place for, I don't care if it's a woman or a man hitting me in the face. That's it.
I mean, joking aside, I mean, slapping your other half, be they male or female or whatever, is not a good thing to do, by the way. Just putting that out there because...
I think it's awful.
Yeah.
So who's the boss? That's the question everyone's asking after witnessing this emasculation in public humiliation. In this final clip from GB News, the panel discusses how this violence reflects the bizarre power dynamic that's defined the Macron marriage from the beginning. When a 40-year-old teacher pursues her 15-year-old student. Watch.
Well, I have to say, you're right to rebuke us for laughing because I can't think of any other marriage of friends I know that would endure either side punching the other in the face or hitting each other in the face like that. I mean, it's just so extraordinary. And for this to be the president and his wife, it really makes people look at their really quite unique, bizarre, some might call it, relationship from way back when and wonder who's the boss.
She was his teacher. This wasn't a tap on the shoulder or a light touch. This was truly a smack. And I will give Macron credit for how he responded to it, because I think the other thing that I thought to myself is that these folks have been in the public eye for quite some time. They're at the top of that stair off of the airplane, and she has to know that the cameras are on them. For her to actually know that this moment was going to be on film really kind of concerns me.
Well, even if they thought it wasn't going to be on film, that she wasn't standing in the doorway herself, there were people in the plane, and for her to treat him like that, it's just, I've never seen anything like it.
I think the word you're looking for is emasculating.
I think that's a pretty good word.
Yeah. Now, just a quick correction. That was actually Sky News Australia, not GB News. But emasculating is exactly the right word for what the world witnessed on the tarmac. So if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. Now, this isn't just about one slap on the tarmac. This is about a leader of a nuclear power being physically dominated by his wife in front of the entire world. When Brigitte Macron struck her husband, she didn't just hit him. She hit France's credibility on the global stage. So think about this. Putin watched that footage. Xi Jinping watched it. Every world leader saw France's president get bitch slapped on the world stage. So how can Macron negotiate trade deals or command respect when everybody knows his wife beats him in public? Now, this relationship started when she was his teacher and he was 15. I mean, the power dynamic was corrupted from day one. So here's my question for you. Should world leaders who can't control their own households be trusted to lead nations? Simple yes or no. Let me know in the comments. I mean, France deserves better. And if you think America deserves better media, support us. Check out our Next News merch shop. It's linked down below.